Am I the asshole for forcing my daughter to find her own way to a wedding because of what she was wearing? My wife and I have 3 daughters, 19, 24, and 28. Our youngest, Jill, just started community college this year while our 2 oldest have moved away to start their careers. Jill still lives with my wife and I as she is attending college locally, and this saves her money. This past weekend we were invited to my niece's, and goddaughter, wedding a couple hours away. The dress code was semi-formal, so men were expected to wear suits and women in dresses. As we were getting ready to leave, Jill was taking her sweet time getting ready and I was kind of nagging at her to get going. She had been out late the night before with friends and I'm sure she was feeling the effects of that. When she was finally ready to go, she was wearing some kind of black, spaghetti strap halter top thing with leggings. I told her that was not an appropriate outfit for her cousin's wedding and that she needs to change into something else. She told me she doesn't have anything else to wear and that I don't get to police what she's wearing. I told her that judging by the amount of dirty clothes on her floor and in her closet, she clearly has other options, she just didn't plan ahead enough to figure something out. I told her it was disrespectful to her cousin, the bride, to wear something too revealing and tacky to their wedding. Jill called me a jerk and said no one is going to care what she's wearing, and if people focus on her clothes more than the bride, that's their problem, not hers. I told her in that case, how she is getting to the wedding is her problem, not mine. She asked what that meant and I told her that if that's what she wants to wear, she is going to have to find her own way to the wedding because I am not going to arrive with my daughter looking like she is about to hit a club at 2 a.m. instead of attend her cousin's wedding. My wife chimed in at this point and told us both to calm down. She told me I was being overbearing, but also told Jill that she did not agree with her choice of attire either and reminded her this is a semi-formal event. She told Jill she would help her find a different option that would be better suited for this. Jill scoffed at that and went to her room and closed the door. I went and knocked and told her she has 15 minutes to be ready or we are leaving without her. She yelled at me that I was being an asshole, so I went outside to wait, and after 20 minutes I went inside and Jill was still in her room. I told my wife that I am leaving and she can either come with me now, or her and Jill can figure out their own plans. My wife asked what Jill is supposed to do and I said she can take an Uber for all I care at this point. My wife reluctantly left with me and I could tell she felt guilty about the whole thing. Jill ended up not coming to the wedding and both her and my wife blame me for it. I don't think I was the asshole here though. Not the asshole. You're exactly right. Leggings and a halter top are not appropriate to wear at a wedding that is set to semi-formal attire. It shows disrespect to the bride, and it's embarrassing for you as well. The people saying that you have no right to say, "I'm not taking you unless you change," have a double standard. They want to say that Jill is an adult and can wear what she wants, make her own choices, but they still don't believe that Jill should face the consequence of her own choices, and also take on that adult responsibility of having to figure out how to get to an event. Not the asshole. I know that a lot of people will start going on about what a woman wears, but this is about not being up to the dress code. And while your daughter had the right to wear what she wanted, you also had the right not to be associated with her decisions on what she wanted to wear. You disagreed with her apparel and as such you weren't going to help her be disrespectful to her cousin by not going with the dress code. I put this in a similar category as if your daughter had decided to wear a white dress to the wedding. Yeah, there's no law preventing it, but that doesn't mean you have to assist in her decisions. And if she's big enough to decide what she wants to wear, she's big enough to call an Uber. Not the asshole. When did people forget that there are types of clothing that is inappropriate to wear in certain places, events? You aren't policing what she wears in this situation. If you can't dress appropriately, then don't go. Listen, I am an out and proud feminist, and I will always rail against people policing and picking apart the type of clothing that women choose to wear. That being said, a person hosting a private event has every right to adopt a dress code, and if you don't want to listen to that dress code, then you don't have to go to the event. It is disrespectful to show up dressed inappropriately. You absolutely did the right thing, not the asshole. Although your daughter may not appreciate it at the moment, you saved her from looking like an idiot and embarrassing herself. Not the asshole. She is 19, it is a wedding. Who wears a tank top and leggings to a wedding that clearly stated formal? Not the asshole. Your daughter is old enough to know what to wear to a wedding. Her poor planning isn't your fault. She made her bed by going out and getting wasted while not thinking ahead of the wedding and dress code. You did well by not taking her with you honestly. Not the asshole. 19 is old enough. Also, you gave her enough time to change. But you should probably get your wife's judgment. Your body, your choice, isn't applicable here. If she doesn't want to dress according to the event, the bride's wishes, she can't go. Easy as that. Not the asshole, she's a 19 years old acting like an 8 years old. Why can't I wear pajamas to the christening? Your wife should have told her no. The fact that you even took the time to wait for her after she called you an asshole. My dad would have kicked me out the house. You never disrespect your parents like that, especially under their own roof. I'd be pissed as the bride if someone from my side of the family comes to the wedding dresses like that after I gave everyone the dress code. Not cool. Am I the asshole for telling my husband that he emasculates himself? Sorry for the long post. For context, I was raised by my single father. He raised me to be totally self-serving, where I learned not only to cook, clean etc. but to be my own handyman. This has led me to being very independent, especially around my house. My husband on the other hand was raised to expect everything done for him and never really learn any self-sustaining skills. But also raised to believe that the male is always right. Fast forward to last week. I needed to buy a new line trimmer as my old faithful finally gave up on life. I was busy with the kids and my husband said he would go pick it up for me. I told him which one I wanted and what brand all my power tools are. He said he understood, but when he came back, he had purchased one from a different brand. When I asked about it, he said he thought it was better and it was also cheaper than the one I wanted. This annoyed me, but I thought whatever, he tried move on. It wasn't until I looked at it I realized he hadn't brought the battery pack to go with it. When I asked, he told me I could just use the batteries from my other tools. I tried to explain to him that this wasn't possible and why, but he didn't want a bar of it. A few moments later he said, "Okay, my brother's coming over and we can go back to the hardware store." I thought we would either be exchanging it or buying the battery pack. But I was so wrong. When we got there, he walked straight up to the tool shack and asked the tool specialist to explain to me how my Ryobi batteries would work perfectly fine in my new Makita line trimmer. Well, let's just say that this didn't go well. The tool guy sided with me and explained when you committed to a tool brand you stay with it due to a few aspects about the batteries. He was embarrassed but quickly did the exchange when finding out the battery charger pack cost more than the line trimmer itself. When we got home, it started. He was yelling at me about how I embarrassed him, how I'm constantly emasculating him, and how I should be a good wife and just stick to doing things appropriate for females. Well, this got to me and I snapped. I replied with, "The only person that's emasculating you is yourself. It's not my fault you never learned to be what you call a man," and I walked off. It's been a week now and he only speaks to me through the kids. It's got me thinking, am I the asshole? He only speaks to me through the kids. This is the only reason you need for me to call him the asshole. The rest is stage dressing for your toxic, immature husband. Your children should not be exposed to your disagreements where possible, and certainly never put in the middle of them. Thanks for the awards, and I forgot to vote not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your husband is a chauvinist, which to me translates to a man who wants credit and respect without the actions to back it up or the rationale to acknowledge the skills and good qualities of women as well. What you told him was correct and now his ego is bruised and in his mind you are to blame. Time for him to face reality. Info. You made babies with this fool? NTA, but honestly, if he hasn't talked to you in a week, this isn't just about the trimmer. My guess is that these silly gender norms he has stuck in his head has been bothering him for a while. You guys are going to need to sit down, without the kids, and really just hash it out. Maybe with a therapist. Good luck. Info. Why did you marry someone who was raised to expect everything done for him and never really learn any self-sustaining skills? But also raised to believe that the male is always right. What are you getting out of this relationship? Not the asshole, since he can't be the man of the house. You can't be expected to play the wifey role. You do need to take a moment to assess your relationship. It's been a week and he isn't talking to you? Ask him point blank if he intends to get over it and apologize. If he doesn't answer appropriately, well, at least you probably know how to change the locks. Not the asshole. It's really interesting that he would pick a tomboy for a wife when he wanted a traditional Stepford wife. Not the asshole, but I can't help wonder what attracted you to a guy like this in the first place. There are men in the world who think their girl knowing her way around a garage or a toolshed is hot as hell. And yet you picked the one who can't even operate a hedge trimmer. Thinking face. Am I the asshole for admitting that I regret raising my ex's kid after what she did to my daughter? I, 56 male, said something in anger that, while at least partially true, maybe should have just taken to the grave. Legally I have 3 kids but played a fatherly role to 4. The 2 relevant children to this story is my daughter, Michelle, 24 female, her sister, Amy, 22 female, and my youngest daughter, Kelly, 21 female. Amy is not my daughter but she and Michelle have the same mother, Jessica. When I was with Jessica there was cheating on both sides and the last guy she cheated on me with got her pregnant. After the DNA test proved that Amy was his, he bolted and stopped paying child support when Amy was 5. Jessica really struggled as a single mother and Amy always felt bad that Michelle had a daddy while she didn't, and Michelle would tell me how guilty she felt. By the time Amy was around 9 I started making really good money and decided to pay a little more than the legally mandated child support and taking Amy with me more. Jessica, Amy and Michelle all loved this, and by the time Amy was 13 she was calling me, Dad, which I didn't mind. I thought I was doing a good thing and helping my daughter foster a loving relationship with Amy and showing all my kids that just because things don't work out doesn't mean you still can't get along. Apparently I was a little too nice and teaching the importance of sharing too much because Amy got a crazy idea in her head that it was okay to share a man, and Michelle caught her sleeping with Kelly's boyfriend, Jason, 22 male. Amy begged Michelle not to tell and that this was a one-time thing and Michelle believed her until she found out that Amy was pregnant and eventually came clean. Kelly was distraught and angry at both Amy and Jason while hurt by Michelle. I didn't hide my disappointment at Michelle and have made it a point to tell her so every time we talked. I haven't spoken to Amy in months but Jessica recently said that I've spent enough time being angry to get over it, and called me a hypocrite because I used to be a Jason. I have no delusions about being the perfect partner in my past but cheating with family members is not one of my sins. About a week ago Amy came to my house crying and saying that while she knows she messed up she really needs my support. She literally came not too long after Kelly cried herself to sleep again upstairs over what Amy and Jason did to her and I calmly asked her how can I give again what I know regret giving in the first place, then shut the door in her face. I then sent Michelle a text that while I still loved her, Amy was no longer welcomed in my life and to never bring her to my house. I've calmed down a bit but I still feel like being involved in Amy's life was a bad choice, so am I the asshole? Edit. Okay, I've been in and out of here because I had stuff to do but I keep seeing some things that I wanted to make clear to everyone. 1. What Amy did wasn't a mistake. It was a series of choices that she made and obviously would have continued to make if someone else hadn't have ratted her out. 2. Michelle didn't tell Kelly what Amy and Jason were doing until after she found out that Amy was pregnant, which was before Kelly and Jason moved in together. Meaning Michelle stood by and watched her sister move in with and become financially tied to someone who was cheating on her. That's why Kelly and I are most upset about. 3. Yes, Jason is equally to blame as Amy, he's just not the one contacting me or showing up at my doorstep. 4. Not Amy and Kelly are not sisters. Not by blood, and certainly not in spirit, as Kelly wants nothing to do with her. Edit 2. Just to clarify the timeline. Michelle found out about Amy and Jason in June 2020. Kelly and Jason started living together in January 2021. Amy discovered that she was pregnant in September 2021 and Michelle came clean a few days later. I told Amy that I regretted raising her a few days before making this post. Not the asshole, a lot of people will disagree, but the fact she expected to be treated as if nothing happened when she slept with her sister's boyfriend and got pregnant as a result is crazy. You did a kind thing raising her and helping her so much, but if she is repaying you and your bio kids by doing things like that, maybe it is right to get her out of your life. Plus it sounds like the ex is more concerned you won't be there to financially support her daughter rather than the fact she is pregnant with her sister's BF's child. Good luck. Not the asshole. When are people going to learn that recreational sexual activity with a family member's partner is a great way to completely burn down their lives? Never, evidently. People won't be forgiving and forgetting that one. And then the guilty one inevitably waves a baby in everyone's faces. Nice try but no thank you. You made this situation, now be an adult and deal with it without crocodile tears. Not the asshole. Even if she was your biological daughter, your reaction should be similar. What she did was absolutely disgusting and will hurt Kelly forever. Michelle is an interesting one. I have no doubt Jessica knew about her affair and thought it was no big deal. Actions have consequences. Not the asshole, she's an adult, she can live with her choices. Not the asshole. We have seen plenty of cases on here where even biological parents cut off their children that cheated with their siblings' partner. The same thing applies here. You were harsh and a little cruel, but I have no sympathy for cheaters. I'm not even totally a big fan of yours either for your infidelity. Not the asshole. Even if Amy was your biological daughter, she should be cut off. There are some things that can't be forgiven. And sleeping with your sister boyfriend is one of them. Not the asshole. You have to protect your own kids. I'm sorry, but if my sister, bio or not, slept with my partner and then got pregnant, I would not forgive them. I would cut myself off if my family did not cut them off. How could you? And if they kept the child, how could I face them without hurting? They've intentionally done something to hurt you, knowingly. That's what you can't get over. They definitely knew what it would do. Am I the asshole for refusing to contribute to my stepsister's retirement plan for our parents? My stepsister approached me and our other siblings with a proposal for a retirement plan to help our parents retire, since on the outside their prospects of retiring comfortably are non-existent. Essentially, she wants us to collectively contribute £3,000 each month starting now and for the rest of our parents' lifetime. The money would be kept in an account in her name only and only given to them once my stepdad retires fully. She calculated our contributions based on what she thinks is our total household income. Currently she would contribute £350, her bio sister £550, my bio sister £850 and me £1250. I said no for a few reasons, but I didn't disclose these reasons to them. The first being, my sister and I have always helped my mum, and by extension my stepdad, financially since we both had our first jobs. My sister and I have a joint account which we contribute to monthly. The money is our mum's and she has full access to it and can spend it however she likes. My stepdad doesn't know about the account since he has a habit of just giving money away when he has it. The second, our parents had a religious marriage and never registered it with the government, so they're not technically, legally, married. If my stepdad passes away before my mum, the money will most likely go to my stepsisters because my stepdad isn't the type to write a will. I think that's unfair since both me and my sister are being expected to contribute the majority of the £3,000. The third, I don't trust this stepsister. She asks our parents for money constantly and is partly the reason why their savings are non-existent. Lastly, I think it was a bit presumptuous of her to decide how much we would all contribute, and it rubbed me the wrong way. Especially, since I'm a SOM currently, so she's essentially just assuming my husband is going to pay on my behalf. After I said no, both of my stepsisters flipped on me. They said I was selfish and greedy. That I should want to help our parents, especially their dad, since he used his hard-earned money to raise me. I got annoyed because they wouldn't drop it and told them I didn't care. Am I the asshole? The money would be kept in an account in her name only. This was enough, but it only got worse from there. Don't give her a penny. Not the asshole. It was a bit presumptuous of her to decide how much we would all contribute, and it rubbed me the wrong way. Yeah, like WTF? It's one thing to suggest caring for you parents, another entirely to go, so you'll pay around £1,000 more a month than me, yeah? This is 50 shades of sketchy, not the asshole. Currently she would contribute £350, her bio sister £550, my bio sister £850 and me £1,250. So the mooch sister wants to create a fund for the parents, giving her sole authority to manage the money? I think she's either lying to you or lying to herself, and she wants more cash for herself. Why on earth would she administer this fund? She's the least significant contributor by her own plan. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It's your money. They can't tell you what to do with it. You laid out perfectly good reasons as why you don't want to contribute to her financial plan. If her and her bio sister want to set up a fund for their father, they can do so. So, you pay almost half of $3,000, she pays little more than 10%, she keeps the money to give to them when the time comes? I call it bullshit. Big fucking bullshit. Not the asshole. Obviously, your money, you spend how you want. How generous of her with her siblings' money. How does she explain her having sole control while contributing the least? Whatever you do, don't do this. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. If you really want to set up a retirement account for your parents, this is absolutely the worst way to go about it. The likelihood of your sister taking that money is very high. Not the asshole. Maybe suggest they arrange finances for their dad and you organize finances for your mum, if they're not legally married?